Hey everybody, this is Nora. We are playing Wurm Unlimited. This is an adventure server gameplay video where we are playing with the Wayfarer Project server. This is a view from Mol Rehan. Somehow this has become sort of a series. And this is like the 10th or so video I've made about Wurm Unlimited. So, game I played a lot. It is the cherry, well, it's not cherry season, it's apple season, and we have the Red Queen in our court. Meaning, wasn't there like the sequel to Alice in Wonderland where the Red Queen, needed to paint all of the roses red because she had white roses or something like that? And that's what I feel like when it comes to Wurm, because you look at the apples, they are all beautifully red. Red apple, red apple, red apple. You harvest them, you pick green apples. So I get it. The graphical starkness of a red apple is pretty cool. I do have to admit, a lot of times will see the apples before I see anything else. Look at that. Let's take a picture. And just in case I don't have anything else to take a picture of, we have the apple picture. Although the graphics on that tree don't look so good. I don't know if that's my function of my settings. Probably a little bit. There's a lot of little pieces for Wurm to render, so I understand why it misses some things. Of course, my computer maybe is more closer to the graphic level of Wurm because of age, sort of. Anyway, red apple season, green apple season. It's actually green apple season. It looks red. Oh, how pretty! It's right there. It's gonna fall. It's gonna with this sphere. Shoop, shoop, to do, shoop. I'm not gonna pick apples the whole time. I wanted to see if I found some chestnuts in the back in my fruit bowl. I wanted to do a quick video on a new to me. Ooh, there's a pretty red apple. Go on. New to me skill called Archaeology, and it seems new because it was a post, well, kind of a post Gamester for Life video. So I learned a lot of my Wurm play. Before I started playing, I watched all of at the time, the videos that Gamester for Life put up on YouTube. And he's got good tutorials. My gameplay videos are kind of meant to be general gameplay. We're kind of homebodies for a little bit more. I just don't really go very far from my area Mol Rehan. Just for reference sake, if you haven't noticed or seen any other videos, we are located here. I call it Corval Nook. This is our starting town in Mol Rehan. So Hearth. Hearth is just south of us here. Those of you not playing along, there is somewhere. Well, on this continent, there's a lot of lava spiders, but they seem to be staying to the outside of the continent. So we are currently standing like right about here-ish. And this is like called the fruit bowl because it's got a lot of fruit. And right now, apples are the fruit that are ripe in here. And but right along here, there's tons of lava spiders. You can hear them if you listen hard enough. But I came in here because I keep saying this is gonna be a nice place for somebody to make a place to live. Wanted to see if I put some chestnut trees in here first. I forget. I know I have like these bigger trees. I don't have very much of. I'm starting a little walnut grove, so I get walnuts and chestnuts mixed up sometimes. Not in real life. because I know what a walnut is in real life, but in the game. Let's harvest that guy. I don't have to get off of my cart to harvest. I'm not seeing any chestnut trees over here. We're gonna go find one. Some of my gameplay ends up being what's in season, so that kind of keeps a little bit gives you an eye for what's happening in the worm. The time marches on. If I was playing by myself, I would be playing on a server and I would not make time grow. Time would stop when I stopped the server and I was done playing for the day. So as you can see, this area here has lots of trees of lots of kinds that are fruit trees. Not the chestnuts like I thought. It's okay. We know to come back in here for the walnuts. There's a couple of different bowl areas. I'm not going to grab all of these. I really have space to grab all of these, but I'm not going to. I do get a little turned around. One of my tips from previous video was to give yourself a little landmark in the way of a packed dirt, and I didn't do that. This is becoming more like home. I do get tripped up because this is very similar in colors and stuff. And if you're not sure where we are, I am pretty reasonably sure I know. I've got 42. One of my things was to mark it with a bunch of rose petals, so as long as I don't lose these rose bushes altogether, I can use that for navigation. So there's a rose bush here. There's another couple. So if I see a lot of rose bushes on the in a higher area, then that's my stuff. That's my place. There's another rose bush. It's sprouting. I'm just gonna let it sprout. Sometimes it's nice to tell them where to go, and sometimes it's nice to just let it naturally figure it out. I built this oak tree up here. This is oak tree mine. What was that? That was a chestnut tree. There was one. I knew there was not 0 chestnuts. Okay, I didn't remember that actually at all. Okay, we are going to look into what a chestnut tree is. Oh, and while I'm up here, I need to see what the chestnuts look like. You can kind of see them. There's one. There's one. It's going to be harder to see. Okay. I've already done I do usually on a change of a season. I do the ultimate act, but I've already done that. So we're just going to harvest. You can either right click and harvest, or you can have a keybind, which for me, harvesting is a big part of my gameplay, so it gets a keybind. I do know where there's a couple more chestnut trees. I'm glad I get 4 from each on these trees that I don't have very much of. Just to think down this way, there's at least 1, probably 2. We are close to the walnut season, which is probably why I get confused a little bit. And then it's easy to, some of these that are knotted are pretty, but, okay, yeah. There we go. Here's some chestnuts. If I remember right, they have the really ugly leaves. Sorry. Sorry if you like chestnut leaves. They are not my thing. I have not used chestnuts in cooking, so I have not used many nuts at all in cooking. My meals are usually some kind of meat, some kind of vegetable. The meat is usually diced. The vegetable is usually chopped. And, oh, that might be, yeah, I think it might be a chestnut tree. And then, some kind of, or not some, I use many vegetables chopped. I use many herbs chopped. I have not yet found a marble vein in my mine, so one of the disadvantages of having different resources tied to different objects is you can't get all of them if you don't have all the resources. So I would like to get a baking stone and bake bread and make sandwiches. I did get some lemons for lemonade, and I've never made lemonade before. I do have some maple sap to sweeten some things. I have not done the beer with this character. It's been a while. Hops. You get hops. I have gotten honey. We missed the video. Well, okay, I didn't do a video of the day I found honey because I didn't expect to actually go down to the path to go get the honey. I kind of surprised myself. Like, oh, wait, there's a hive. We can do that in a minute. I'm still gonna get the chestnuts. What I wanted to show you was the archaeology thing. But first I want to quick grab these chestnuts while I'm thinking about them before I get out of the chestnut season. I need to start making some books. I think if I put the old things in the old harvestable pages in the book, maybe I won't read like a summary, but then I can have a place to stick them. Right now I'm just having a harder time figuring out where I'm sticking all my stuff. And if you haven't noticed, I've got an archery target from practice, and I set it up high. And at first I thought that I made it as a mistake being high, but then I realized, oh, you have less damage when you hit there's a chestnut tree, I think. Target high. Like you get more damage when you're above in your archery. That's what I saw, and I don't want to damage my target. I just want to practice with it, and I think I'm about really close to being done with practicing. That's a walnut. I eventually will learn these. It takes a second though. Chestnuts, just remember they have the crazy leaves. Yellow, usually. Yeah, well, it's fall. It's fall in real life. Oh. How long has that been that way? Welcome to Nora's videos, where she doesn't know if she's actually done the thing that she said she was going to do. Go do. As it happens. It is also raspberry season, so we're going to stop and get raspberry real quickly. I got a couple in my yard. Raspberry is one of those that are very plentiful in Mol Rehan in terms of the sprouting or the foraging, or I don't know. I do botanizing and foraging all at the same time, and I never distinguish out if I'm doing anything special because I just look for anything. It's faster. I don't have to sit there and think, am I gonna get an herb? Am I gonna get a rock? I do have that option. Nature, forage for anything, and botanize for anything, and I just use those key binds all the time. But I do find lots of raspberry sprouts, and the raspberry sprouts allow you to plant raspberry seeds. In Mol Rehan, you don't have. I hear there might be lingonberry trees somewhere, and or bushes, and I've never seen them. But this is our lovely raspberry bush. Get another picture. We're gonna do this one as a study, so we're gonna have to sit there and talk for a second because I haven't gotten this figured out yet. I find it really helpful to have a bucket of dye in my normal to travel around stuff. Oh, I've also starting to get in the habit of filling up my pen with the dye when I'm done. I carry around paper because it's really, really light. And so those are things that are helpful when you're doing a lot of if you like this type of gameplay, I guess. So I wanted to I was going to show you archaeology. Just a second. We will get there. But this game goes fast. The time goes on without you, and you don't realize how much time is going by. All of a sudden, you're like, wait, we just had fall a little bit ago, and then we're just gonna have winter shortly. It feels like it wasn't that long ago. So we're gonna record. Right click on your pen, record the raspberry. We're gonna write down that raspberries are awesome or awful, one of the two. And then we're gonna put it into the almanac. It's an 84 raspberry. I don't know that it benefits me to keep doing this year after year. It does change the quality level of what's available in the report. And so I can kind of easily see which ones I've missed. I did miss the olive season. The one seed that has all the olives near it, on it, around it, everywhere. I missed it. I still have olive oil. I still have plenty of olives. I play for keeps, right? Hoarding is a big part of the game for me. I'm trying to be better at less hoarding. But I definitely have more than one olive in reserve. So not having the olives is not, for this roundabout, is not a huge, horrible problem. Oh wait, that was overaged. Some of these are alternating between raspberries and blueberries. I tend to, somehow the blueberries sprout more, so I have more blueberries. My tiered farm. The raspberries are taller. I used to have access to somebody else's raspberry bush when I was a kid. Probably shouldn't say that too out loud, but I remember going over to the bush and eating off of it. I think it was raspberry. It was planted. I was about to say it was wild, but no, it wasn't wild. We were getting close to the hazelnut, and that's another one of those same things as the raspberry bush. It doesn't show up unless you plant it yourself. And I think the time when my wrong one, I got to where I can harvest 4 at a time, and I think it had to do with the forestry getting up there and the, what is it? Is it a knife? No. Why isn't it here? It's miscellaneous. The sickle. They both came up to 50 at the same time. And then right after that, I started seeing 4 items in my queue. Obviously, the smaller, younger items, you don't get that many. Let's sprout these. Wrong keybind. Related, but not the same. And then we are gonna go to archaeology things. Let's go put. Did I start this video out in my house? I don't know. My estate, the esteemed estate, which gets a lot of views. I got a tall tower on my esteemed estate. It's not finished. I was making some more bricks the other day. Let's see, chestnuts into my bin. I'm trying to decide what. I had 29. See, I'm not hurting for any of these. No, I have 18 more. We're gonna put them all in here. Average them all out. I don't really care that they're average. I could also play the game of let's get the things up to the next highest quality level game. So I'm selling all the lower level quality stuff and then adding higher level quality stuff on top of it. And that will eventually raise the quality level of everything. And then it gives me stuff to sell to be able to afford to live here. It's not that expensive to live here, honestly, but it is something I think about as a general rule. So I'm gonna, okay, so if I just noticed, not just, if you don't pick these pottery herbs in your pottery planter rack, they do die. Like I've killed 5, which is me in real life too. I need to get this quality up and sell it. But here is a new rack. I don't think I've had a chance to show you. I don't really know that. I just made an alchemist cupboard. I did find the beeswax. It has got the cool animation of opening the drawer. It has a small amount of liquid it can hold. I haven't decided what to put in there, but it is liquid. It's pretty. And I wanted to grab this because this is where this satchel is where I keep all my pieces for my archaeology. Okay, so I'm going to do this more of a tutorial-ish style-ish than some of the other things, because I just didn't see very much about this. It was new to me when I came back to the game after taking a break in 2017. I think I'll find stuff up here. So archaeology is a new thing that they added, and it really only takes 2 tools to do, as far as I can tell. One is your carving knife. No, one is your stone chisel, and one is your metal brush that I didn't create until I did archaeology. So, somewhere up here. Okay, so when you're starting with archaeology, it says, and I didn't. Okay, so this is something that means that I play the game so much the same way I don't think about the new stuff, right? So under here, I was like reading. I was bored when I was doing some clay digging, right? So I started reading, and it says, which one was it? Restore an item from fragments. And I don't remember if I clicked on here or what. Where was it? There was that one. I've done that. Anything that's in the green, something you've done. I've not caught a large fish. I've not gone fishing yet. We are gonna have to go fishing. We're gonna have to go get a fishing trip. I got a wild 5. I study bushes all the time. I really still really want to do this. I'm not forgetting to do that. I just haven't done it yet. I thought I taunted somebody, but apparently that didn't happen. It might have been that. Oh, okay. So, restored an archaeology item. Somewhere in here, I was highlighting. Where is it? I still can't find it. Anyway, I was in here. Excuse me. And it said the word trowel, and I'm like, oh, well, I have trowel. I use a trowel for my all of my masonry for all my stuff. So I come over to it was in this area. I come up with brand new to me skill, brand new-ish game thing, trowel, which is not something I use all the time, so I don't know where it is on my thing. And you right click and you investigate. And I'm like, oh, this is kind of weird. And your skill kind of goes up. If you catch something, you go down like you do with the you like my noise? Forging and the botanizing, and you get like an unidentified fragment. So you start off with the trowel, and you're watching your skill go up, and you're like, oh, this is kind of interesting. Eventually, I was reading in Wurmpedia, and sometimes you go down and you still don't find anything. You're like, oh, I'm gonna look around. I'm getting stuff. I noticed not every section of around my deed has the fabric. Now this one here, it actually is somewhat identified. It says that I've got a tin fragment. That is because I have got my archaeology up to 32. The one thing that I tend to use a lot of, and my skill for this is pretty high, is a shovel. My digging skill is, not astronomical, but it definitely is one of the things I use a lot. So now that my skill is up high enough, I can use my shovel and do the same thing. But it's kind of interesting because you have all these different options: investigate, cultivate, You can do a lot of stuff. My shovel now is letting me do tons of stuff. I can cut grass with my shovel, and I can do a lot. So we'll investigate a couple more, but I'm not gonna do all of it. Can't remember how far up here I went. So you're starting to see maybe areas. One thing I wasn't sure about with this archaeology thing is, okay, so we're playing Wurm Unlimited, which means I don't have the online community, and I don't have places that might have used to have had items. You know, old, like the whole idea of archaeology as an ancient civilization had been built here before, or maybe not even that ancient, maybe it's just a civilization had been built here before. So I had decided, before even reading it or looking it up or doing anything about it, that I wasn't going to be able to find anything, because I'm not playing Wurm Online, I'm playing Wurm Unlimited, which means it's a standalone game. This is not a super old server. It was like March or May or something when the server was open. April, something like that. Because I joined in June. This is how much you can play from June till October. Where your skills can be if you play haphazardly crazy like I do. So, look at all these. So we got a lump, a tin lump, an ore fragment. Kind of true to the form of like your ore pieces, not pieces, your ore the mining stuff, the mining ore. What did we call that? This is obviously not my best name day. I can't think of the name for the ore area in the mine. We're getting a lot of fragments here. That's kind of nice. I like that. But when I don't know what they are, I haven't figured out what they are. I haven't had a chance in a while. It says unidentified. So what will happen? Where's my stuff? I just like finding my cart. Okay, I don't need to be here, but I'm gonna go back to my cart so I'm close to AKA home. Okay, so we're going to take my stone chisel, because that's the icon on the right side for stone chisel. Even though it looks just like a carving knife, stone chisel and carving knife, it's really hard to tell the difference between. And so if you pick the wrong one, pick the other one. I don't know. I don't understand why the graphics got so similar. And it might just be the level of detail in my game or something. But I'm just gonna quick chip away. So if you're watching, these are going from one to something smaller. We're gonna keep identifying till I get some more information. They're just gonna get smaller and smaller, and now this one's a metal fragment, so it's a little bit more information. Still don't know exactly what it is. This one's still identified, but I need to use the metal brush, so I'm going to pull the metal brush ones on the bottom, and that way I'm just going to identify the big group. When you identify the big group, it identifies the however many line logics you have. So mine being 40 to 50 means I have 5, so it's going to identify 5 at a time. So I'm just going to keep going. I have some metal fragments. I don't know what they are yet. I have some still. This is still not identified yet. This is not identified yet. I'm noticing that these quality levels are kind of almost not really skyrocketing, but they are going up a lot faster than a lot of other skills, and maybe I'm focusing on it so much. It doesn't feel like it though. So okay, so we're going to try to identify this little group. So that's an lump and that's an ore, so I don't need to identify that. They're not under any unknownness, I guess. I don't know, it's not the right word, but words are hard today, apparently. Still says unidentified, so we're going to keep trying to identify it. And then we're going to come back up here and identify this group of like 6. So, this again, I said it was new. I got a weapon piece. I don't know what that is. I can't remember what weapon piece I already have recovered. It's kind of good, probably. Careful identifier. What skill did I get to? Or maybe I got to certain numbers. I'm gonna have to look that one up because it doesn't say I got to a skill. So it likes. I don't know if they're gonna balance this differently or not. I guess some of the balance is the number of pieces, right? So as you notice, they have 1 of 26, 1 of 3, 1 of 3. The lumps are usually 1 of 3. Or the bricks seem to be 1 of ores and bricks seem to be 1 of 20s or 26. I have lots of rounded stone. Why are you giving me rounded stone? I don't need. But that means you kind of have to have a lot of pieces on those. So let's see. So let's stick all of this into. Why is it not highlight? Highlight, please. Now we're sticking it in the satchel, and I'm going to take the ones that are the same. So the sandstone brick fragment is really, really bad. I have lots of sandstone. I don't really care that it doesn't work. One of your basic combined technique is to do the second one down, and then it combines everything in that in that group. And so it's going to go from a 1 to a 2 because I had 2 of them. Some of them I've already combined. So like before, I had 3 zincs. I'm going to combine my fragments of iron here. These ones I've noticed are pickier. They don't group up the same, and maybe it's just because we have different pieces. But I'm being more cognizant when I'm doing this of my like what am I combining? Now obviously if I had the plus, then you know the 2 are the same. Now my restoration skill is only 29. And like I said, I don't know if it's because I don't feel like I'm spamming it more than I'm spamming like my other things. And you notice that the stuff that I had in my bag are actually higher or lower quality than the stuff I was just finally getting now. Does that not combine? Okay, it does. Just anything that I know for sure is the same, I'm going together, and then I'm going to quick look it over. And I don't like changing my inventory windows size. This is the one gripe about Wurm. Is the menuism. It's a nice game though otherwise, right? There's a gold, an iron, and gold. So here's a gold, and there's a gold. This is what I'm saying. It's not easy to tell. So we're gonna combine that gold and that gold. Even though this gold is really low, we're gonna get somewhere in the middle. Okay, so then ore, zinc, iron, lead, zinc, tin, silver. Okay, those are all different. Ore, that's good. It's just good to know. Pegs, rounded stone, sandstone, shard. Marble shards. Okay, so this is something I am looking forward to getting. Marble shards. I have to do 26 of these stupid things to get a shard. But I am getting faster. I've got 5 slates, which I don't have any access to slate over here either. And 5 and 4 marbles. So somewhere, some ancient civilization is finally providing me with the stuff that I want. To do the baking, to do the sandwiches. So let's quick do a tiny bit more. You get the idea, right? I just want to see if I have more stuff. I'm gonna let you go here shortly though, because the video is meant to be go check the chestnuts, go check the raspberries, and do the investigation, because I didn't have a chance to do my normal playtime as normal. And one thing I guess I did notice is if you eat your raw ingredients like your green apples that you get, your nutrition goes down. I'm not going to do it now. I don't really want to try to do it now, but I'm going to grab an apple from the tree. We're going to chisel this, identify it up, and then we're going to see if it matches anything in here. Chiseling away. I'm going to keep chiseling away. 0.95. Please be another marble. Thank you. Do you believe if you tell it what to do, it's going to do it? I don't. Seems like the metal brush is the last thing. This is me without reading too much of the. I have a pottery brick. I do not have a pottery brick fragment. Once I get the items built, I've been putting them away somewhere usually. There's my North Jade. This is the dead horse mine, and I don't know if I really want North Jade to get in the mine. I don't want the North Jade to be dead, even though I took her out of my pin because she's got illness or leg issues or bad, poor quality traits. Right? Let's quickly grab this. I don't need all of the apples. I did want more apples than I had while they are all harvestable. And now I've got to figure out how far over can I get this so I can kind of see what's going on without being too obnoxiously in my way. Sometimes that's the game. It's how do I manipulate the menus and screens such that I am able to see what I'm doing and have a fun time with all the other stuff. Let's see, can I place this? I'm going to try to just place this somewhere there. Alright. So yeah. Interesting. Change is interesting. We're going to green apple. We're going to leave. So, anyway, let's get my guys parked. I don't really have a place to park them. I've seen a lot of, or several people who have a place to park there. Horse carts, it's just stop somewhere. It's way, way, way less professional, but that's okay. Anybody want to buy a large saddle for a bear? Come to Mol Rehan. Anyway, actually, I'm joking, but I do not mind having more people in Mol Rehan. There's lots of area. The only other person that's settled is Zortan. He does find Cyclops a lot more often than I do, even though we have connected land. I think he lives over here or over here. I doubt he lives here because this is where Hearth lives. And I see him some. I don't know, I see him more here than I do up there. I have seen Cyclops over there, and apparently there was a dragon around here, blue dragon. I haven't seen them for a while either. There is a dueling area that's kind of cool to walk through, and I think we had a video on that. But if you want to join the server, we're on the Wayfarer Project server. Contact Wayfarer. He's watching his YouTube. He's watching for emails. He's not always good about checking it. If you need to contact me, contact him. On Discord, I will try to do that. But I am. We could use more people. I'm a play by myself kind of person who does boring stuff. Kind of. Can be boring for a lot of people. Anyway, I'm going to log off, and I hope you guys have a great day, and thank you for joining my video.